to make sure that you're awake. And that just now was the raising the troop. That's what you'd hear played on the drums in the camps of the Continental Army. And that was a symbol, the signal to assemble together. So thank you for being assembled. And it is such an unspeakable joy and privilege, felicity, as it were, to be able to come here with fellow patriots and to really go back to the rock upon which our republic was established, to go back to where our nation was conceived in liberty. And so it's such a joy to be with you today. Way offshore up here to Cape Cod, and they resolved to go to the southward where they had legal authority to do so, and God had other plans, and they were driven back here. And so this is a critical moment, because many were saying, I don't elect for this. I don't want to be with other pilgrims and be under their authority. I want to go off on my own. I want to use my liberty to do what I want to do. And this is a crucial moment. Would they have to use power and coercion? Would Miles Standish, who was their captain, have to clap people in irons perhaps and use force and coercion to keep the pilgrims together? Or was there this other way? So that's what we're going to hear now from Governor Bradford.
Well, I shall begin with a combination made before we became ashore, being the first foundation of our government in this place.
Now, perhaps some of you have seen the professional soldiers, the regulars, the soldiers who regularly train of His Majesty King George. Now, we like to poke fun at them, maybe twiddle our nose at them and call them lobster backs or redcoats. But their finest soldiers of the British Grenadiers wear tall bearskin caps. They're trained to throw hand grenades about the ears of the enemy. But they are so well trained they can fire 4 to 5 shots a minute. Now, some might shrug and think, who cares? What does that mean? Let me try to show you the steps it takes to load one shot. And not only show you what it takes to load one shot, but if we have 60 soldiers lined up together, and if we're in a smoke-covered loud battlefield, do you think we can hear an officer scream the commands of make ready, present, fire? He could, but are we going to hear him? No. Probably not. And if you throw out your voice, you can become very hoarse. So not only to march together in step, but also to give those commands in the battlefield, we rely on the drums.
Sergeant Bradford is going to portray one of the 350 Patriots poised to strike a massive force of 800 Tories camped north of Kettle Creek by Carr's Fort in what became known as the Battle of Kettle Creek in backcountry Georgia. I present to you Sergeant Aaron Bradford.
My name to all of you. Pickens and Dooley and Clark, they organized us into 3 different groups. And as we lured up close to the British who are slumbering, at daybreak, we then commenced and attacked very smartly. And as we commenced firing, some of the British Tories will fire and then fall back. In his camp, Colonel Boyd, John Boyd, rallies the main line of defense, marches forward 100 strong to a line of fallen timbers and breastworks. Yet, our great Andrew Pickens, he leads his men directly across at the high ground. So as our men, some of Pickens' men are able to fire down on Boyd's Tories, Boyd and his men are hovering down and firing back up. And as I'm sure any military man here knows, the high ground is the key to the battlefield. Awake, because I know that some of us are growing rather famished and we've not yet eaten. I will play Raising the Troop. Alright, well that was just the first part to make sure that you're awake. But my name is Aaron Bradford, and I hail from Savannah, Georgia. So I have not traveled as far as many of you have to get here today, but again, it is an honor to come here to Valley Forge. So my focus today will be on Savannah's Braveheart, an unsung hero of the American Revolution from Georgia. And this is not a portrait on a nickel or on a coin, although perhaps it could. This is James Jackson. So just out of show of hands, how many of you ever heard of James Jackson before? I see a few. That's more than I thought I'd see this morning. I was impressed. That's impressive indeed. Hardly anyone from Georgia has heard of James Jackson, let alone people from America. And yet I hope that we'll see, by the time we're finished this morning on our little ride together, that we'll see how, even though a young man who came from England to Savannah, Georgia at 15 years old, who came landing in Savannah with really no lineage to speak of, no landed aristocracy or things like that, simply rather from an upbringing of an appreciation and devotion for the rights of man, how one life made a profound impact on this country that's founded on a set of ideals and principles. We're not founded on